If you cast your mind back to, I think it's May 25th, the sort of circulation of the video of George Floyd being killed, kind of, I guess, during the pandemic, it became a story that had always really been there, but it had been magnified by the fact that it was cutting against, the world had basically stopped in order to save lives. But at that same time, that people's lives might not have been valued to the standard that any one of us as a team would have subscribed to. And we kind of waited to gather our thoughts as a team internally about what is our response, our unique response to Black Lives Matter as a protest, but also, like, what is our brand? Like, what do we stand for? Do we stand for the funding of clean water projects? And if we do we recognize that there are certain stereotypes within that sector that tend to perpetuate myths of African communities, which are, by virtue of being in Africa, overwhelmingly Black communities, that they are dependent on generosity of, white craft beer drinkers. And that started to make us quite uncomfortable about the direction that we potentially could slip into as a brand. And whilst we would call ourselves non-racists, we weren't being anti-racist, we weren't taking a stand. So in about 2 weeks of meditation on that, we decided, would we like to take an actively anti-racist stand? And would we like to try and use whatever meager resources were at our disposal in order to try and build at least a group or a collection of brewers that were like-minded for us, that wanted to make a more inclusive beer industry. So that's not just in terms of racial equity, but also in terms of LGBT representation or visibility, female representation, disabled persons' access to the brewing industry. And we thought that we would never ever get to the end point where we could sit back and congratulate ourselves. It would always be a work in progress. So we just called it Work in Progress, and we put it out there. And 27 different breweries have now signed up of various different sizes. Do enough people see themselves in our industry? And if not, why not? And if they don't, can we show examples of it?